The human in the forbidden zone. The sky was red. The wind was sharp. And the human, his name was Jack, stood alone on the edge of a world no one dared to visit. His ship had crashed. Smoke rose behind him. Metal burned. And the air, it wasn't like Earth's air. It was heavy, hot, and felt like it was watching him. Jack looked at the trees around him. They were black, twisted. Some moved even when there was no wind. "This planet is cursed," he whispered. Every map in the galaxy showed this place as dangerous. A red mark, a warning. Forbidden zone, no entry. But Jack hadn't meant to come here. A strange pull in his ship's navigation had dragged him off course. Something invisible, some kind of signal. And now he was here, alone. No help, no backup, no food, no way to leave. He checked his oxygen levels. Only a few hours left. Then he heard it. A voice. Very soft. Very faint. It wasn't speaking English, but somehow he understood it. "Help me." Jack froze. "Who's there?" he said, his voice shaking. No answer, just silence. Then, "Please, help me." The voice was close, maybe inside his mind, but it didn't feel evil. It felt weak, afraid. Jack followed the sound, through thick plants, over sharp rocks. His boots crunched on dry bones, alien bones. Some were big, some were human. He tried not to look. Finally, he reached a broken structure, something like a temple, half-buried, old, alien. And there, under a large piece of fallen metal, was a figure. Not human, not male. She was tall, glowing faintly, and her skin was like silver stone. Her hair floated as if underwater. Her eyes were shut, but her lips moved. "You are not one of mine, but you came." Jack rushed to her. "Don't move," he said. "You're trapped." He checked the metal, too heavy to lift by hand. He grabbed his small plasma cutter and began cutting. The moment the beam touched the metal, the woman opened her eyes. Golden eyes, bright like suns. "You should not be here," she said weakly. "Well, I am," Jack replied, cutting faster. "And I'm not leaving you here. You touched this world. It chose you." "I didn't choose anything," Jack said. "I just want to help." The metal groaned, then fell off with a crash. Dust rose. She gasped and coughed. Jack knelt beside her and pulled out his medkit. "Are you hurt?" She looked at him strangely. "Your tools are not for me. I am not human." "Don't care," Jack said. "Bleeding is bleeding." He scanned her. The screen flashed red. Unknown biology. Still, he applied pressure to her wound. The bleeding slowed. Then something strange happened. Her skin began to glow brighter. "Your hands," she whispered. "They are fixing me." Jack looked. His fingers were glowing too. He pulled back. "What the hell?" She took his hand gently. "You are human, yet your touch heals me. That should not be possible." Jack swallowed. "Who are you?" She smiled weakly. "I am Valeria, queen of this world." He stared. "You're the queen." She nodded slowly. "They left me to die." "Who did?" "My sister, my court, my people. They feared my power. They feared my bond." Bond. Her eyes looked deep into his. "I was waiting for someone, not from my world. Someone who could touch me, without dying." Jack blinked. "Wait, others tried to help you." "Yes," she said softly. "They all burned." Jack felt cold. But he hadn't burned. She leaned closer. "You are the one." "I'm just a guy who crashed," Jack said, trying to laugh. But she didn't laugh. "You saved me," she whispered. "Now the world will change." A sound echoed in the sky. A low rumble, not thunder. Jack looked up. Shapes flew overhead. Dark, fast-moving ships. Friends of yours? He asked. She shook her head. They come to finish the job. Then we run, Jack said. No, she said. We walk. You are with me now. Jack pulled her up carefully. She was still weak, but her glow grew brighter with each step. He didn't know where they were going. He didn't know what he had done. But somehow, this strange queen believed he had just changed everything. And far above, hidden in the stars, something else had just woken up. She should be dead. But he touched her. Jack had seen war. He had seen strange worlds, but never had he seen someone like her. Queen Valeria. She stood now, barely, leaning on him as the red sky turned darker. Her skin glowed like soft moonlight. Her wound, just minutes ago, had looked fatal. But now, it was healing. Fast. Too fast. She touched the spot where Jack had pressed his hands. Her golden eyes widened, then narrowed with something between fear and wonder. This is not normal, she said. Jack was still trying to catch his breath. Yeah, I kinda figured. No, human. I mean this. She reached out, gently brushing her fingers against his wrist. A pulse of light moved between them, like static electricity, but warmer. Stranger. This is impossible. Jack pulled his arm back, a little unsure now. What's happening to me? What's happening to you? She didn't answer right away. She looked at the jungle around them. The trees had gone still. Even the air seemed to be watching. This world has rules, she said softly. Old rules. Ancient laws written into its soil, into its sky. Jack frowned. Laws. She nodded. No one touches the queen. Not even her people. Our kind are bound by blood and bond. Only those chosen by the world itself. Only they may lay a hand on royal flesh and live. And I just did, Jack whispered. Yes, you did. Her voice was quieter now. And you lived. More than that, you healed. Jack looked at his hands again. I didn't do anything special. I just wanted to help. She looked at him for a long time. And that may be why you could. Suddenly, a loud click, click, click echoed through the trees. Valeria pushed Jack behind her. Her body, still weak just minutes ago, moved like a shadow, graceful and sharp. Stay down, she ordered. From the bushes came two figures. Not animals, not people, machines. Drones, black and silver, floating just above the ground. Watching. They moved closer, scanning. Jack whispered, Yours? She shook her head. My sisters. Then the drones spoke, cold voices without feeling. Subject Valeria detected, target compromised, executing termination. Lasers charged. Before Jack could move, Valeria stepped forward. Her body pulsed with energy, newer, stronger. She raised her arm. With one flash of light, both drones exploded. Jack flinched. His ears rang. Okay, what was that? She was breathing hard. That was not something I could do before. You're getting stronger. No, she said, eyes glowing brighter. We are. Jack stared. Wait, you mean, because of me? I don't know, she said, but I felt it, the moment you touched me. The old bond, it started. Something ancient, something forbidden. Jack backed up. I didn't mean to start anything. She looked sad, almost tired. The bond doesn't care what we mean. It only cares what is. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she said something that made Jack's heart stop. You belong to me now. Jack blinked. Wait, what? She stepped closer. Not threatening, not angry, just certain. You touched the queen. You healed the queen. The bond formed. It is not a choice. It is the law of this world. Jack looked around. I didn't agree to any of this. You didn't have to. The world agreed for you. That didn't make him feel better. I don't even know you, he said. She smiled sadly. nor I you. But now, your life is tied to mine." He laughed nervously. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means," she said, "if I die, so do you." Jack stopped laughing. Valeria looked toward the burning horizon. "They will send more, stronger ones. My sister will not rest while I still breathe." Jack looked at the ruins behind them, the place where he found her. "If we stay here, they'll kill us both." "No," she said. "They will kill me. And when I die, the bond will snap, and you will fall with me." Jack rubbed his face. "This just keeps getting better." "Come," she said, turning toward the dark path ahead. "We must reach the sanctuary before nightfall. Only there can we hide." "And if we don't?" he asked. She looked back over her shoulder. "Then you'll learn what happens when a queen dies, with her chosen one still breathing." Jack followed, heart pounding. As they walked deeper into the jungle, strange lights followed them. In the distance, more machines landed. Soldiers in black armor stepped out, scanning the wreckage of Jack's ship. Back on the enemy command ship, a tall female alien stood before a massive screen. Her eyes were cold. Her armor was lined with gold. "The Queen still lives?" she asked. "Yes, Commander," her assistant said. "And she is not alone." The woman's lips curled. "The bond has begun." The human touched her. Her eyes narrowed. "Then we kill him first." Hunted by her own people. The jungle was darker now. Thick vines hung low like fingers reaching from the trees. Strange lights moved between the leaves, blue, green, and red. Some pulsed like eyes. Others hissed and clicked when the Queen and the human walked past. Jack had stopped asking questions. For now, he just followed. The alien queen, Valeria, walked ahead with a strange grace. Her body still glowed softly in the shadows, but her steps were slower now. The deeper they went, the heavier the air became. It was like walking through water. "How far is this sanctuary?" Jack asked, wiping sweat from his forehead. Valeria did not look back. "Far enough to be safe, close enough to be dangerous." "Right," Jack muttered. "Helpful." He stepped over a twisted root. It moved under his boot. "Did that just?" "Yes," she said calmly. "Do not step on the same root twice." Jack quickly lifted his foot. They kept walking. Something was off. The trees felt alive. The shadows whispered. Jack could feel eyes watching them. But not just animals, not just machines. It was something older, something waiting. And that's when they heard it. Buzzing. Faint at first, then louder, then closer. Valeria stopped. "In the trees," she whispered. Jack raised his head. Through the thick leaves above, he saw small machines flying between the branches. Fast, silent. They looked like metal insects, but they weren't here to observe. "They found us," she said. Jack cursed. "What now?" "We run." They ran. Branches whipped Jack's face. Thorns cut his arms. But he didn't stop. Behind them, the buzzing grew louder. Lasers hissed through the trees, cutting leaves, burning bark. One flew past Jack's ear. Another struck the ground near Valeria's feet. She leaped over a log, turned midair, and fired a blast of golden light from her hand. One drone exploded. The others scattered but did not retreat. "They're calling others," she warned. Jack looked ahead. How much farther? "The sanctuary is near. I can feel it." He didn't ask how she could feel it. At this point, nothing surprised him anymore. They broke through the last line of trees and found themselves at the edge of a wide cliff. Below, an ancient temple lay buried in fog. Giant statues, broken and cracked, watched over the land like sleeping gods. "The sanctuary," Valeria whispered. It looked abandoned, dead. Jack wasn't sure this place would save them. But he followed her down the rocky path. Behind them, the buzzing returned. 10 drones. Then 15. Then 20. And worse, black armored soldiers began dropping from the sky. using jump packs and rifles shaped like bones. "Run," Valeria shouted. They reached the steps of the temple. Vines had covered most of the entrance, but Valeria raised her hand, and the plants moved aside like they obeyed her. Inside, it was dark. Quiet. Safe, maybe. They entered, and the door sealed behind them. The sound of the jungle vanished. Jack leaned on a cracked wall, catching his breath. "We're alive. That's something." Valeria didn't speak. She walked toward the center of the room, where an old stone circle glowed faintly under the dust. She touched it. It lit up. Suddenly, the walls changed. They came alive with light and images, moving pictures from the past. Ancient history. Jack saw war. Fire. Royal figures in long robes. Then, an image that made him step back. It was him. Or someone who looked like him. A human. Long ago. Standing beside a glowing queen. "Is that?" Jack began. "Yes," Valeria said softly. "It has happened before. Long, long ago. A bond between a queen and a human." Jack stared at the image. The human in the vision raised a weapon. He fought beside the queen. Protected her. Died with her. "That's not comforting," he said. Valeria turned to him. "This is not the first time, and it may not be the last." Jack sat down on a stone bench. "So let me get this straight. I crashed on your planet, saved your life, accidentally triggered an ancient magic bond, and now your people want me dead." She nodded. Jack laughed. "Great, just great." Valeria knelt in front of him. "I did not ask for this. I did not choose you. But the bond is real. And now, so is the danger." Jack looked into her golden eyes. For a moment, he forgot about the danger. She was beautiful, but not just in a way he understood. She felt powerful, deep, like a star pretending to be a person. Then she placed something in his hand. A small crystal. "What's this?" "A tracker. One of the soldiers placed it on me while I was unconscious." Jack stared at it. "You've been tracked this whole time." She nodded. "And you didn't think to mention it." "I thought it was broken, but it's active." Jack cursed again. "They're coming." "Yes," she said, "but this time, I won't run." She stood. So did he. Outside, the machines gathered. Inside, the bond grew stronger. And far above, in the warship orbiting the planet, Valeria's sister watched the temple on her screen. "Prepare the strike," she ordered coldly. "Burn the sanctuary." Her soldiers moved. The war had just begun. She calls him mate in front of everyone. The temple shook. Dust fell from the high ceilings. Cracks ran down the walls. Outside, machines screamed and bombs lit the jungle on fire. But inside, Jack and Queen Valeria stood side by side, ready. There was nowhere else to go. No more time to hide. The enemy had found them. Valeria placed her hand on the wall. Her touch sent golden light through the stone. The hidden door opened at the far end of the temple. "Hurry," she said. Jack didn't argue. He followed her into the dark tunnel. It twisted underground, deep and cold. For the first time, he noticed her walking slower. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded, but her face looked pale. "The bond. It keeps me alive," she said. "But every moment, I feel my strength fading." Jack reached out and touched her shoulder gently. Her body lit up again, brighter this time. Her skin glowed, and her steps grew stronger. She looked at him with wide eyes. "Your presence restores me," she said. "It shouldn't, but it does." Jack shrugged. "Maybe I'm just special." She gave a soft smile. "You are, to this world. And now, to me." They walked on until the tunnel opened into a wide underground chamber. And in that chamber stood others. Dozens. Alien figures wearing dark cloaks, metal armor, and glowing tattoos. They raised their weapons the moment Jack stepped out of the tunnel. "Wait," Valeria shouted. "He's with me." A ripple of whispers filled the room. Some knelt. Some stepped back in shock. One warrior, tall and angry, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, you were thought dead." "I survived," she said. He looked at Jack with sharp eyes. "And this creature, why is he near you?" "He saved me. He's human. He is bonded." Gasps echoed across the room. The warrior's voice turned harsh. "Then he is a threat." He lifted his weapon. Valeria stepped between them. "If you touch him," she said coldly, "you attack your queen." "He should not be here," the warrior said. "He should not be alive." Valeria took a breath, then said the one word that froze every alien in the room. "Mate." Silence. A silence deeper than any sound. Jack blinked. "Wait. What did you say?" Valeria didn't look at him. She faced her people. "He is my mate," she said. "By bond, by survival, by choice of the world." "No," the warrior said, stepping back. "That is impossible. No queen may choose a human." "It has happened before," Valeria said. "And now it has happened again." Jack whispered, Does mate mean what I think it means?" Valeria turned to him. "In our culture," she said softly, "a queen does not marry. She bonds. For life. For power. For peace. The word for that bond is mate." Jack felt dizzy. "You just told everyone we're together." "I had to," she said. "They would have killed you." Jack looked around. Dozens of eyes watched him. Some with awe. Some with hate. "And now they won't?" he asked. Valeria turned back to the warrior. "My mate is under royal protection. If anyone touches him again, they face the full wrath of the throne." The warrior dropped to one knee. "As you command, my queen." Others followed. The room changed, from a place of danger to a place of strange loyalty. But Jack still didn't feel safe. Later, in a quiet room, Jack sat on a stone bench, staring at the floor. Valeria sat across from him. "You should have warned me," he said quietly. "I had no time," she replied. "You told an army I was your mate. You are." Jack stood up. "Valeria, I don't even know what that means. I didn't ask for this." "No," she said, "but you saved me. You touched me. You bonded. And now, you are part of this world." Jack ran a hand through his hair. "I'm not ready to be anyone's husband, queen, partner, whatever your word is." She stood, walked closer. "Then tell me, if you could run right now, would you?" Jack paused. His mind screamed, yes. But his heart whispered, no. He looked into her eyes. "I don't know." Valeria placed her hand over his chest. "Then stay a little longer. Fight with me. Stand by me. Not as my mate, just as a friend." Jack slowly nodded. Then a horn blew. Loud, sharp, urgent. Valeria's eyes widened. They found the entrance. The enemy had broken through the temple above. They were coming again. Jack reached for a weapon one of the guards had left. Valeria watched him. "Maybe," she said, "you are not ready to be a mate. But today, you must be a warrior." He smiled, despite himself. "Then let's give them a fight they'll never forget." Above the ground, the alien soldiers poured into the ruins. At their head walked the sister, tall, powerful, with silver armor and a cruel smile. "Let the queen see her mistake," she said. "Let her human die in her arms." But deep underground, the queen was no longer running. She had chosen. And now, her mate stood beside her. Ready for war. He fights for her throne. The sounds of war echoed through the ancient stone walls. Booms, screams, metal on metal. Jack tightened the alien armor over his chest. It didn't fit perfectly. It wasn't made for humans. But it would have to do. He grabbed a strange, curved blade from the rack beside him. It hummed when he touched it, as if it recognized him. Valeria stood nearby, her golden eyes watching him. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. "No," Jack said, "but I'm going anyway." Valeria nodded. "Then I will walk with you." They stepped into the war. The upper chambers of the sanctuary had become a battlefield. Rebel guards, loyal to the Queen, fought against elite warriors sent by her sister. Black armored soldiers pushed forward with deadly discipline. Their weapons were advanced, precise, heartless. But the rebels were fighting for something more than orders. They were fighting for her, and now for him too. When Jack stepped into the chamber, the battle slowed. Eyes turned to him, some in doubt, others in hope. He raised his blade. "This is your world," he shouted, "not theirs. You want it back. Then fight with me." For a moment, there was silence. Then someone shouted, "For the Queen." And the fighting began again. Jack moved through the chaos. At first, he was clumsy. He wasn't trained like them. Not with alien weapons, not in alien armor. But he was fast, smart, and angry. A black armored soldier swung at him. Jack ducked and slashed back. His blade cut through the soldier's arm like it was cloth. Sparks flew. The soldier screamed. Another came, then another. Jack kept going. Valeria moved like fire beside him. Her hands glowed with golden light. She threw energy like thunder. Every blast lit up the room. But they were outnumbered. A missile hit the ceiling. Stone crashed down. Jack pulled Valeria out of the way just in time. She looked at him, surprised. "You moved faster than before," she said. He didn't answer. He didn't understand it either. His body, it felt stronger. His reaction time, his focus, it wasn't normal anymore. The bond was doing something to him, changing him. But there was no time to think. A loud horn rang out. A tall figure entered the room, walking through smoke and fire. Valeria's breath caught. "My sister," she whispered. Commander Cirilla. The traitor stepped forward. Her silver armor gleamed. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with power. "You should have stayed dead," she said to Valeria. "You should have stayed loyal," Valeria answered. Cirilla's eyes turned to Jack. "And this is your human mate. How pathetic. I'll enjoy killing him first." Jack raised his weapon. "You can try." Cirilla laughed. Then she raised her hand and fired. The blast hit Jack in the chest. He flew back, slammed into a pillar, and didn't move. Valeria screamed. "No." She ran to him, falling to her knees. Jack's armor was cracked. His eyes were closed. Smoke rose from his chest plate. The room froze. Cirilla stepped forward. "You see, he is nothing. A bug. A broken toy." Valeria placed both hands on Jack's chest. Her tears glowed gold. "Don't go," she whispered. "Don't leave me. Not now." Her power flowed into him. And then, his eyes opened, but they were not just human anymore. They glowed, golden, like hers. Jack stood slowly. Everyone watched in shock. Even Cirilla stepped back. "You should be dead," she said. Jack's voice was calm, deeper. "Guess your rules don't apply to me." He raised his hand, and without touching her, sent a blast of energy toward Cirilla. She was thrown back across the room. The bond had changed him, made him something more. Not alien, not human. Something in between. Cirilla rose, shaking. "This changes nothing. The throne is still mine." "No," Jack said. "The throne belongs to the Queen, and I will fight for her." Valeria stood beside him. Together, the rebels roared. They pushed forward. Jack led the charge. The battle turned. Cirilla's forces broke. Some fell. Others fled. Within minutes, the chamber was quiet again. Smoke, silence, victory. Later, Jack stood on the temple steps. Blood on his armor, cuts on his face. Valeria walked to him. She placed her hand on his cheek. "You could have died," she said. "I still might," he replied. She smiled sadly. "But today you lived. And you fought. Not as a stranger. Not even as a mate." Jack looked into her eyes. "Then what?" She leaned closer. "As a king." High above the world, inside the last enemy ship, the remaining generals watched in silence. "He is becoming too strong," one whispered. "We must end this before it is too late." In the shadows behind them, a hidden figure stepped forward. Tall, cold, with burning white eyes. Then a voice said, "Let the queen have her mate, for now, but the stars will not bow to a human." Her rage burns the sky. The fires had not stopped. Even after the enemy fled the sanctuary, they had left destruction behind. Smoke poured from the jungle. The sky was thick with black clouds, and the ground trembled from falling debris and dying machines. But the real storm was still to come, because Valeria, queen of the world, was no longer running, and the bond between her and Jack was no longer a mystery. It was a warning. Jack stood near the top of the sanctuary steps, watching the horizon. Enemy ships hovered above, like vultures waiting to land. He had never seen skies so full of death. Valeria stood beside him. Her long hair moved in the wind, glowing with golden light. Her eyes were calm, but inside her, something was breaking loose. "They sent more," Jack said. "They will not stop," she replied. "I can fight again," Jack said, flexing his fingers. His body felt strange, stronger than before. Since the last battle, the power inside him had grown. His blood pulsed with heat, his senses had sharpened. But he also felt her pain, her heartbeat, her fear, not just as a friend, as something deeper. Valeria touched his arm. "No," she said, "not this time. This time, I fight alone." Jack shook his head. "You don't have to." She looked at him, eyes soft, voice sharp. "They attacked my world. They tried to end my life. They hunted my people. And they tried to take you from me." She stepped forward, raising her arms. "I gave them mercy. I gave them warnings. I gave them chances." The wind around her rose. "But now I give them rage." Above, the command ship watched her. Inside, Commander Cirilla looked down at her sister's glowing form. "Fire the orbital cannon," she ordered. "I want nothing left." The weapon charged. A red light gathered above the clouds. It fired. A giant beam of destruction. Jack watched it fall toward them like a sun crashing to earth. Valeria raised her hands toward the sky. No more. She unleashed her power. The beam stopped. It froze in midair, burning, screaming, trying to push through. But her light pushed back. The ground cracked. The jungle bent away from her. Energy poured from her body like fire turned into light. The beam shattered. Pieces of red energy flew upward, slamming into the enemy ship. Jack shielded his eyes. When he looked again, half the sky was on fire. Enemy ships turned to flee. Too late. Valeria lifted from the ground. She didn't fly. She rose, as if the planet itself carried her upward. A ring of golden light circled around her. She whispered something in her language. Then she screamed, and the sky broke. Storms formed instantly. Thunder, wind, lightning. But none of it was natural. It was all hers. Enemy ships exploded without warning. Drones fell like dead birds. The jungle below became a sea of flame and gold. Jack had never seen anything like it. This was no queen. This was a goddess. Down below, the remaining rebel soldiers fell to their knees. Even the elders, those who had once doubted her, lowered their heads in silence. "She has awakened," one whispered. "The last blood of the first queens has returned." Far above, in the command ship, Commander Cirilla stared in horror. "She's not supposed to be that strong," she said. "The bond wasn't meant to work." Her advisors backed away. One of them spoke, trembling. The prophecy said if the queen ever bonds with an outsider, the planet itself would obey her. She's bonded with a human, Cyrilla said in disbelief. No, the advisor replied. She's bonded with the right one. Valeria descended slowly. Jack stepped forward, catching her when she landed. She was breathing hard. Her glow had dimmed. Her body was shaking. You stopped an orbital strike, Jack whispered. She nodded weakly, and burned half the sky. She smiled, just a little. I am not done yet. Then let me help, he said. She looked up. If we stand together, the throne is ours, forever. Jack took her hand. I didn't come here to be a king, he said. But now, I'll burn the stars with you if I have to. They walked back into the temple together. Their people followed in silence. Later that night, deep inside the throne room of the sanctuary, Valeria stood before the last ancient gate. The crown of stars rested inside. Only one with the full bond, body, mind, and soul, could wear it. Jack stood beside her. The guards moved aside. Valeria reached forward, placed her hand on the gate. It opened. The crown floated toward her. But then something strange happened. It turned and floated toward Jack. Everyone froze, even Valeria. The golden light around the crown shimmered. The ancient markings on the walls began to glow. The temple itself was reacting, not just to her, but to both of them. Two souls, one throne. Valeria stepped back. I was wrong, she whispered. This bond is deeper than I ever knew. Jack touched the crown. It did not burn. It sang. Far away, in the darkest corner of space, something ancient stirred. Something older than the queen's bloodline. Something sealed for centuries. It felt the power waking, and it hated it. A deep voice whispered through the void. The crown has chosen a human. Then the stars must fall. A new empire with a human king. The stars watched in silence. Ships floated above the planet's orbit, half burned, half fleeing. Some still fired weak shots, but they were blind now, scared. Their leaders had fallen. Their armies scattered, but the fire had not stopped burning. And neither had the queen. Inside the sacred temple, the crown of stars floated between them. Valeria, the last blood of the royal line, and Jack, the outsider who was never supposed to touch this world. And yet, the crown turned toward him. Every elder in the room stared in stunned silence. For thousands of years, no outsider had ever been chosen by the throne. But Jack wasn't just an outsider anymore. He had saved the queen, fought beside her, bled for her people. He had walked into the fire and stood with her when all others had run. And now, the planet recognized him, not as a stranger, as a king. Jack didn't speak at first. He looked at the floating crown. Its light flickered like the pulse of a living star. This shouldn't be mine, he whispered. Valeria stepped closer. It wouldn't come to you if it didn't know who you are. I'm just a man, Jack said. I came here by accident. She smiled softly. Nothing about your arrival was an accident. He looked around the throne room. The symbols on the walls, the stars, the old languages, the hidden prophecy, all began to make sense. Long ago, this planet had bonded with one outsider, just one. The legend said he brought peace, but died before the crown could pass to him. Until now. Valeria turned to the people gathered. My mate, she said, her voice steady, has been chosen by the crown. You saw it with your own eyes. And so, we offer you a choice. Whispers rippled through the chamber. Two rulers, one elder said. Together, said another. It has never been done. But it has never been needed before, said Valeria. Our world has changed. The stars are not as safe as they once were. We need strength. We need unity. We need hope. She looked at Jack. I offer him the throne beside me. Not above. Not beneath. Equal. Jack swallowed hard. His heart pounded. Then, slowly, he stepped forward. I didn't come here to rule, he said, loud enough for all to hear, but I won't walk away when you need me. I've fought for your queen. I've fought for your people. If this world will have me, then I will stay. The chamber was quiet. Then a single voice shouted, let the bond guide the crown. The crown moved. It lowered gently toward Jack and Valeria. Together, they raised their hands. And together, they touched it. The crown split into two beams of light. One touched Valeria's forehead. The other touched Jack's. The ground shook, but not in fear. The temple glowed brighter than ever before. The walls lit up with ancient glyphs that hadn't moved in centuries. And above them, the sky cleared. The sun broke through. The war was over. But not the story. Days passed, then weeks. The planet began to heal. The rebel forces became protectors of the people. Valeria and Jack stood side by side at every gathering, guiding, teaching, and rebuilding. Jack learned the language of her people. They learned his name, not as outsider, but as chosen mate. He wasn't like their past kings. He laughed too loud. He talked too simply. He made mistakes. But they followed him anyway, because he had done something no one else had done. He had cared. He had stayed. But peace never lasts forever. One quiet night, as Jack looked up at the stars from the high tower, he saw something shift in the sky. A crack, a ripple, something cold, something dark. Valeria joined him. You feel it too, she said. He nodded. It's coming, isn't it? Yes. The voice in the stars. She looked at him. You heard it. Jack turned to her. When I touched the crown, I saw something. A shadow. A voice saying, the stars will fall. Valeria closed her eyes. It has awakened, the ancient enemy, the one even our gods feared. Jack stood taller. Then we'll face it. You're not afraid. Terrified, he said. But I've got you. She smiled. And I have you. In the sky, a single star blinked out. Not faded. Erased. The war was coming. But this time, the universe would not face it alone. This time, a queen and her mate would stand side by side. And the galaxy would learn the truth. A human heart can shake the stars.